We are in the beloved month of December in the NHL season. And as Mac mentioned earlier, at this point in the year, you kind of know what you're going to get for the most part. There's obviously a few exceptions, aka the St. Louis Blues infamous 2019 run. But I want to ask you guys, I'm going to name some teams. I'm going to read to you where they are in the standings currently. And if you believe that they will stay relatively the same or maybe even jump up in the standings, you will buy. If you think that they're frauds or, there could be some drastic movement, like let's say the Predators, um, then you can sell if you think they'll maybe tank even more. But if they're going up and staying good, buy. If they're going down, staying still or going down, we'll go with sell. Make sense? All right.
Bye.
Let's Well, the first team I was going to have is the Washington Capitals. I would probably say this is maybe the most surprising or maybe second most surprising team in the league so far. They are first in the Eastern Conference. You buying this or you selling?
Can I abstain?
Um, sure, why not? Yeah.
I'm buying, and it's unsurprising to me. I told everyone this team would be good.
I'll go with the
I
bye as well.
I want to sell so bad, but I would be dumb to do that, especially considering what they're doing without Ovi. I think Carberry is a great coach. I'm gonna buy. I definitely think this team is gonna be top three in the Metro Division. I don't think they're gonna be having to do any wild card shit this season.
I will say I don't anticipate them staying atop the East. I think a couple teams will catch them there.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to the next team. Another surprising first place team in the West, the Minnesota Wild. We've had a lot of choice words about this franchise over the years, but they are tied for first in the entire NHL and tied for first in the West. Buying or selling?
That's tough.
I'm gonna sell just because I think they're obviously a playoff team, which I don't even know if I would have said that going into the season. Um, I don't think they'll win their division. I don't. So I will say sell.
I'm gonna buy cautiously, but it's mainly just down to how Philip Gustafson has been playing.
Yeah, he's been probably my best draft pick easily in my fantasy draft. I'm gonna buy. I also think Kaprizov is just doing some wild and shit out here right now. He looks incredible.
He's kind of having like the Kaprizov-esque season that we thought was going to happen last year or the year before. I know he had some injuries there, but this is what I think we can expect from him going forward, at least hopefully, because then they're watchable.
All right, we're gonna get two to three more teams and then we'll move on. But we've got some fringe teams coming here. This is maybe a little less obvious. The Philadelphia Flyers. They are currently the wild card two team ahead of the Lightning, the Jackets, the Sabres, the Islanders, the Penguins, the Wings. Do you think the Flyers can hold on to one of those playoff spots in the wild card spot?
Sell
Why?
because it's the Flyers.
Sell because they still don't have a goalie, and Michkov can have a great season if he wants to, but that goaltending, it's going to be at best, you get a couple good games from one of them in a row. There's not going to be any sort of like month-long consistency to that, and that's what you need to nail down a playoff spot.
We should do a YouTube piece on just all the different ways the Flyers have ruined goaltenders because it's actually fascinating.
It really is. Especially when they go in to be general managers for the rival team. Uh, I am also going to sell. I'm fully on board with Mac. The goaltending, I'm not sold yet. They've allowed the third most goals in the Eastern Conference. I think Torts knows how to get the most lemon juice out of a lemon, if you will, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. All right, this next one should be really fun. The St. Louis Blues. They are currently 4 points out of the wild card two spot, currently held by the Calgary Flames. We all know the coaching swap that they did. So, with that, what are we thinking? They're currently Like I said, 4 points out of a wild card spot. The two teams in front of them who are not a wild card team yet are the Avalanche and Utah.
So not making the playoffs.
I'm gonna have to agree, but I think if they don't make it this year, they will next year if they keep Montgomery. I really like him for that team. I think that's a great fit. I just think that there's two or three giant holes in this lineup that are gonna keep them out.
I'm gonna buy. I think the teams below them are definitely worse than them. The teams in front of them who are in that wild card spot, I think they're a little more complete than some of them. I think they're a more complete team than Utah. Maybe that's a hot take. I think they're more complete than Calgary. They're gonna have to probably beat out. They're probably gonna have to beat out the Colorado Avalanche, which I don't know if they can do, but I'm gonna buy. I think they're either wild card two or they're like the first team to miss, maybe.
I would feel a lot better about this team if they had a consistent, competent goaltender that didn't try and fight people.
Has he been bad this year? I honestly
No, like
don't.
I mean,
Okay.
he's been, I think,
You just think he's
average
a
at
head case.
best. Well, I don't necessarily even think he's a head case. I would just say I think his play's been average at best, but considering the lineup around him, I don't think that's too far off.
All right, last team currently not in the playoffs. They are 1 point out. Um, Kind of showing a little bit of lack of depth. I think we all talked about that, but the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm gonna buy. I've seen them like absolutely eviscerate a couple opponents this year. They shut the Caps out 3-0 early on in the season. They destroyed the Bruins a little while ago. I forget what the score what of that was. It was like 5-1, 6-1 or something ridiculous like that, but they're still talented enough to completely dismantle teams into the postseason.
Yep, they've got a decent goal differential. We all know they can stop the puck. We know they've got scoring power. I think they'll be a playoff team again. We might see them fall to a wild card, which is something we're not as used to the last several seasons, but I do think they're a playoff team.
I'm
And
also going to buy.
I don't even think they'd be worried about sneaking in as a wild card. I think as long as that
No.
team gets in, they're like, we've
Yeah.
done this before. We
Yep.
we have guys that we brought in that have done it with other teams before. So
Yep.
Yeah, I'm buying. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they're necessarily a tier one contender, but I do think that these guys are good enough to make the playoffs.
yeah.
Well, that is your Fact or Fiction segment, quarter way of the season edition. Hope you all enjoyed.